Hi, good morning. It's Taichikos, your revelator, here with you once again. It's been quite some time I haven't spoke to you in this manner, but nothing happens before the time. And this morning is the morning when I'll be speaking to you about my favorite topic, wisdom, and how to operate. Wisdom is when you can adjust to any situation at any given time, and to fill in, to save life, or to come out victorious. And we're gonna take an example of how quick you react to your inner man. And when you can react to your inner man so quickly, then you know that wisdom is abound. We're gonna look at how sometimes you will have to play fool to catch wise. And what all these parable means, and how can you add them to your life to make you becomes a winner. You becomes victorious in even difficult situation. So we're gonna do a little Bible reference this morning to King David and his situation when he find himself in the enemy's camp. A lot of us today, like me, who often steps in the enemy's camp. And when I step in the enemy's camp, is only wisdom can make me come out victorious. If you don't add wisdom when you step into the enemy's camp, you're gonna find yourself on the losing end. So that is why wisdom are so important. Now, David was fleeing from his enemy, Saul. Right? And if you can cast your mind back, you will remember that it is Saul were the first king, and it is Saul who approves David. But in approving David, Saul were jealous of David, as he realized that another king was on the horizon. So although he approves him and although he sees his worth, but slewing Goliath is still in the back of Saul's mind. And he now becomes David's Goliath. And he knew that. So he didn't want David to reach that status or that moment when he will be slewed by the giant killer. So although he approves him, but he didn't like him. And Jonathan, Saul's son, knew that. And other people knew that. And the terrible fight were against whom? David. With all the good things that he has done for Israel and for Saul. But Saul the king did not like David. Henceforth he set out to destroy him, give him friendly fires. So you have to be careful whom you said is your friend, your master, your boss. They will give you friendly fires. So David, it gets so intense that David started to flee away from his enemy. But Saul was not the only enemy he has. His real enemies were the Philistines, right? Whom he had slain their master, Goliath. So they were Saul's real enemies. That's why it's important for you to know who is your enemy from who is your so-called enemies. Right? A lot of us today said our own is our enemies. No, you are wrong. We are black people. Black people cannot be our enemies unless they adopt other nations' principles. So what they will be showing outside is not what on their inside. Right? But David's real enemies was the Philistines. And they have this jealousness for David that at any given point in time, when they caught him in any situation that they can done him, get rid of him, they will certainly will, because them have him up. So I'm going to read this couple of verses to cap the story, to synthesize the story, are the words or the statements that I just made. Let's start from here. 1 Samuel chapter 21. And I'm going to start from verse 9. Abimelech answered. Should it be there? Let's start it from verse 8. David said to Abimelech, "Do you have a spear or a sword you can give me?" The king orders made me leave in such a hurry that I didn't have time to get my swords or any other weapon. Now, this is when he was fleeing from Saul. So he did not have any time to pick up a weapon. Now he is in the camp. Right? Abimelech answered, "I have a sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom you killed in Elah Valley. It is behind the ephod, wrapped in a cloth. If you want it, take it. It's the only weapon here." Now David running from his so-called friends, which was Saul, right? Right? And his men, right? And they giving him a weapon, right? To fight, the one that he used, that they captured after he used it to slay Goliath. All right? Let's go through it quickly. "Give it to me," David said. "There is not a better sword anywhere." So David left, fleeing from Saul, and went to King Achish of Gath. Now he reached into the enemy's camp. The king officials said to Achish, they started to identify him now, "Isn't this David the king of his country? This is the man about whom the woman sung as they danced. Saul has killed thousands, but David has killed 10 of thousands." What is happening here? Reminders. Now, their words made deep impression on David, and he became very much afraid of King Ashish. Oh, now some people would have taken it the other way, for cheers, right? Feeling good about it. I can be identified. But this was trouble for David. And David did not accept trouble for peace, like a lot of you accept insult for invitation. David did not. David realized same time no, although them a big me up, because you have some people come and a big you up to your own detriment. Right? David realized that immediately. Right? Their words made a deep impression on David, and he became very much afraid of King Ashish. So he didn't friend him because they were telling him that, David that. So whenever David was around them, he pretended to be insane. The word insane, mad. You have to play fool now to catch the wise, right? And act like a madman. When they tried to restrain him, he would scribble on the city gates and let spit drool down his beard. That means him pit up on himself, him vomit on himself, him crawl up on the wall, him do all kind of crazy things when that was a sober, wise man. Well intact. But he has to go to that level. A lot of you don't want to go there. A lot of you too proud. Who for go on like me a madman? So you prefer go on like you're sober and you have your PhD and you get gunned down, bullet down, bomb down. Because you didn't go to the extreme. These are not what you take from David apparatus, You go in David's bag and you take out the grudge, right, of Uriah. Them that only take from David, Them that only not take these wisdom from David, right? Right? Only accept insult the invitation, only accept bad for good and good for bad. Why only want to try this, right? Like I do, right? 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 Alright, where do I reach? He would scribble on the city gates and let spit drool down his beard. So Ashish said to the official, this is the king, Look. Said, look, the man is crazy. Why did you bring him to me? Right? Don't I have enough madmen already? Why bring another one to bother me with his crazy action right here in my own house? So when you reach in the enemy's camp, in the enemy's house, you have to know how to operate. And a lot of time you would have seen Tychicus downtown, uptown, round town, side town. I'm in the enemy's camp. So I have to know how to operate, right? Right? So when you call this man a madman, you're calling him the right name because of wisdom. I gather if you look at the phrase that said, big finger never tell lie, just point at me, call me a madman, and said whom the finger is pointing on. Argument done. I am Tychicus, your revelator, once again.